Hi everyone, I'm Cloud. Before we begin, just a quick reminder. This video is for informational purposes only and reflects my personal views. It does not constitute financial advice. The cryptocurrency market carries high risks. Please do your own research and consult a professional advisor before investing. Any predictions or analysis mentioned in this video may not be accurate, and you are solely responsible for your investment decisions. I'm not liable for any financial losses.
Let's first take a look back at last week's market action before we talk about what's coming next. Last week was August 4th to August 10th. Bitcoin's weekly high closed at 117,944, which was pretty close to my first target. The low was 111,920, but that low actually happened on August 3rd. And I had already said, after the second, we'd likely see a rebound or some sideways movement. So we never hit the downside target, and price stayed above the midline. Ethereum, on the other hand, hit a weekly high of 4,326, smashing all of my targets. The weekly low was 3,354, off by just 26 points from my call. Quick reminder, Ethereum has now hit my second target for the August high, while Bitcoin hasn't even touched the first one. Bitcoin's been getting drained. Back on July 14th, when the market first started moving up, I already said Ethereum's pullback to $3,000 could be the lowest point.
My average entry for Ethereum was around $1,500, and honestly, I kind of regret selling at $2,800. Now I have to spend time watching the charts again for a re-entry, and it might not give me a low entry anymore. $3,000 could very well be the floor now.
This time, it pulled back to 3,354, so if you didn't buy then, you missed it. I've said many times, don't wait for the perfect price. Close enough is good enough. Last week, I said August 2nd to 6th would likely be a small rebound or consolidation, and both Bitcoin and Ethereum moved just as I expected. But on the 6th, things suddenly got more bullish, so in my daily update, I warned that between August 7th and 8th, if Bitcoin could hold above the mid-week line, it would push toward my first weekly high target. For Ethereum, on August 5th and the 6th, I gave a high range of 3,780 to 3,900. If you were paying attention, you could have aimed for the second weekly high target. Now, here's the key part, August 9th to 13th. If the market drops during this period, then from the 14th to the 21st, we could see continuous gains. But if we pump hard during the 9th, 13th, then starting on the 14th, we'd be looking at a big drop. I still think it's more likely we'll see a drop between the 9th and 13th, and then continuous upside after the 13th. But there's always the chance the market does the opposite. If Ethereum just keeps pumping into the 13th, then, oh well, I'll miss that move. Honestly, I expected a strong August, but I didn't think Ethereum could pump this high before the 13th. It's way beyond what I thought. My analysis is based mainly on Bitcoin's chart and astrology, so it works well for Bitcoin. I use Bitcoin's moves as a reference for altcoins, but I'm not deeply familiar with alt season. So for alts, I've been relying on technical analysis, still learning. So why's this market been so tricky? Without getting into astrology, because that's really based on my own interpretation, technically speaking, Ethereum's move has been extreme. Just look at Ethereum's 3-hour and 4-hour charts. I'm not even bothering with Bitcoin or other alts. They all look similar. Using 3 of the most common indicators, you can see they're all at very high levels. This whole push started on the 6th. After just 4 days of continuous climbing, the indicators are stretched. Even the RSI on the 3-hour chart is forming a converging triangle. At these levels, the big players could try to push even higher, squeezing the last bit out. But the risk is huge. I personally don't have the mental stamina to stare at the screen all day for this. At these highs, you can get dumped on instantly, so if you trade here, use a stop loss. If we drop from now until the 13th, those indicators will cool off, and we'll have the energy to push higher after, which would match my original plan. But if the big players don't want to give that chance, they could just send it straight to the top in the next few days. So you get it, if we're going to see a big pump starting the 14th, we first need a drop before the 13th. Otherwise, there's no fuel left for another leg up. If we keep pushing hard these next few days, we could hit a breaking point around the 13th, followed by a sharp drop. If you missed Bitcoin and Ethereum, just hold on to your alts. If Ethereum goes for a new all-time high, alts should follow. I said back on July 14th, if you're bullish on alts and believe alt season is still alive, you should be buying on pullbacks to the 7-day, 14-day or 20-day moving average, as long as those levels hold. Scenario 3, the no-brainer alt season version. If you believe this is the start of alt season, then ignore the short-term charts. Whenever altcoins pull back to the 7-day, 14-day, or 20-day moving averages and hold, just buy the dip. Then just hold and wait for alts to moon. This approach requires you to watch the charts closely. I don't fully understand alt season yet. This is my first time experiencing it. On the 6th, I mainly bought ADA and SUI because Bitcoin was looking strong that day. Looking ahead, August 11th to 17th. I'm not going to read out all the target levels. I'll put them on the screen so you can screenshot them. For Bitcoin, we need to hold above 115,000 to aim higher. For Ethereum, hold above 3,980 to aim higher. Being conservative, I've set around $5,000 as the upper mark for Ethereum. That's it for now. Alright, that's it for today. Weekly forecasts should never be viewed alone. They must be combined with daily and monthly charts. The daily charts fill in what the weekly might miss. I wish you all the best. May you buy at the bottom and sell at the top. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you found this helpful. Send this to your friends too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.